Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. I feel naked this morning because I don't have my glasses on.
Good morning, everybody. What's up? It's Dr. T. Listen, she ain't got her glasses. I ain't got my earrings. I just don't even know what Saturday is starting off like. But guess what? I'm in here. This is the day that the Lord made. I'm excited. So let's get it.
So today, happy Saturday, everyone. If anybody has a birthday today, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, November
Yeah.
1st.
So tomorrow is my mother's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Happy
Yeah.
heavenly
So yeah.
birthday.
So I was having a moment on the way in. Well, woke up this morning, my head was like hurting on the side right here, and but I was having a moment,
Mm,
and I forgot my little head was hurting on the side. So I
mm,
heard 105.9 Mason and Star. I think they do recordings on Saturday.
hmm
And I heard some old school music.
You was jamming
I
to it
turned it
then.
up to the highest I could turn. I turned it up to the volume
I
all the
know.
way
I
up.
opened your car door and like,
Yeah.
I thought
Well, you
I heard
tried to
something.
open my car door.
Yeah.
It was locked.
She had me locked out, y'all. So listen, I'm glad you had that moment though to reflect on your mother. I hope you do something to celebrate her on tomorrow.
Of course I am. We're going to my favorite place tomorrow. Me and Vanessa Crime. Shout out to Vanessa Crime. She actually
Yeah,
was there. She helped me take care. Well, she actually was one of my mother's caretakers.
I remember.
So
I know Vanessa real well.
So shout out to her. She was there for me in the
Yeah,
time of need. God bring individuals in your life
yeah,
when you need them.
he
And
does.
she's still in my life. So shout out to her. I love her very much. I
Yeah.
call her my big sister. But well, let's talk about the things that's what's going on in the community, what's been happening this
Mm.
week. We need to know personally that we have to be careful with our phones and just be careful what comes out of her mouth, our mouths, right? And
Yeah.
let me just say this. So let me tell you what happened to me. And I have no shame in this for what I did or what I said, but I shouldn't have said it very loud, right?
Mm.
So what happened was I think it was what was the first day of voting? Was it Saturday?
Last Saturday was early voting.
So
Yeah.
early voting was last Saturday. So it wasn't
Mhm.
last Saturday because we were downtown.
Mhm.
But Sunday, so I think Sunday I was downtown for something, right? And no, I was going to a repast.
Mhm.
Um, Tim's mom had a repast at Sunset Island,
Mhm.
and I was coming down toward Pontiac. I was going by the library. Saw Melanie Rufford on the corner. Melanie Rufford has bought a car for me. And I love Melanie Rufford, right? I do, and I also love Chris. What's Chris' last name?
Jackson.
Jackson. And so I saw her on the corner, and I said, "Hey," I mean, I said something like, "Hey, you doing good in the race." No, I'm not even. I don't remember the exact words, right? But I was hyping her up, right? You know how we do, hyping her up. And I'm not gonna say exactly what I said, but it wasn't something that I would want anybody to actually. Um, I don't vote in Pontiac. Let me just say that I'm spitting back, right? I don't vote in Pontiac, so I gave her some kudos. I really did. I gave her kudos, and with me giving her kudos, Chris Jackson was not there, but he was. I guess he pulled up beside me after I get through running my mouth, and he blew the horn and repeated some things I said. Right
Mhm.
now, giving her kudos, patting her on the back, it's my opinion, right? And I had to apologize to him, right? Because you got to stay neutral. You do. And I said some things that, maybe I didn't want him to hear. But anyway, yeah. So just be careful what you say. So what happened this week? Somebody we know, Don Hannah, I'm gonna say the name, said some things that she felt that was on her heart. And it actually made the news. Channel 4 News. Um, and I'm sure she's very sorry for what she said. She shouldn't have said it. Um, And I mean, she shouldn't have said it. The bottom line. I know Dr. T is going to say what she wants to say about it, but she shouldn't have said it. If you feel a certain way about someone or anything, keep your mouth shut, okay? Because it's about being fair to individuals. And for one is, well, I can't keep talking because you know what? I don't want people to know my opinion of that too much. But I already said my opinion. You got to be careful
Well,
what you say.
I agree. We do have to be careful of what we say. And, it's always a written rule of mine that every thought does not have to be verbalized. And so you can think a certain way, you can feel a certain way. But when you are in media or you're a public figure, you represent more than just yourself. And so if you do have an opinion, you just have to be careful how you display it in some of the things you say. Now, what I will say is, I'm very sorry as a person who lives in Pontiac. I'm very sorry at a lot of things that I've seen in this political race. I have seen a lot of division, and it is very not Christ-like, and it is very hurtful to me because we have to work with each other in this city.
Well,
So
well,
regardless of who wins or not.
well. Here's the thing: cameras, phones will take you down.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then not even taking you down is you can't when somebody has a video, you can't take the video back.
Yeah,
Once
but now
somebody
that
captured
AI,
that,
and then now think about what AI. So people have the ability to manipulate videos and things now. So you may intend for something to be one way, but AI can switch it around and turn it around. And this is happening all over the world. Just last week, we had a very well-known pastor, Pastor Marvin Winans, was in the news because of his giving day. And then prior to that, we've had several political people in the news because of things that they have said, and it actually was damaging.
well, it's not even about okay, it's damaging, but we just really, really have to be careful on what we say. And especially, it's not even you not being a public figure, right? You know, it to me, it depends on what you say. It's about disassociation yourself with certain things when people do things, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And you really know when things happen. I've heard people say that. Well, you know what? It's true. You know what I mean? It's true.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It does
yeah.
not matter. And that's the reason why when we have our first guest, let's talk about division. This community is division. We hit the news. Pontiac, Michigan hits the news in bad ways. I was at my aunt Annette's house about, I want to say, a year ago. Well, it was something happened at ITA, International Technology School, and it hit the news in Mulberry, Florida. Now, Mulberry, Florida is a small town. Mulberry, Florida is about 35 minutes away from Lakeland. A lot of people heard of Lakeland because the Detroit Tigers play in Lakeland, right? But it hit the news in Mulberry, Michigan, and it hurt my heart.
Mm,
Hurt my heart because the city I grew up in
mhm,
hit the news in not a good way. And you also, you know what? Uh, was it Hermit? What's Norbert Burroughs said? He said when he posted about what happened, he said we're called the Yak for a reason. And I didn't realize, how do we get our name, the Yak? Do you know?
No, I don't. But he said yakety yak as if there's a lot of chatter and talking to yak. Yeah.
Is that how
I,
we got
I
our name?
I cannot verify if that's true or not. I don't know. But
Okay.
I see Annette, Auntie Annette on. So good morning, Auntie Annette. Good morning, everyone who is listening.
Who
We
is who
are
is
so
loving who is
excited.
loving our family? She's always on.
Yeah, good
What's her name?
morning. So good morning. I don't know your name, but good morning.
So what's
And
her name? Cause I think she's always on.
I don't know.
Oh.
I can't say. Well, I'm excited for what's getting ready to happen on the show. So we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our first guest, Adrian Austin, who is running for Pontiac Council at Large. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
Hey, Metro
We're back in the pod this morning, but we didn't actually talk about this is our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
So congratulations to us, 1 year
In the
with in
pod.
the pod. So we're
Yeah.
excited. Didn't even know. Dr. T actually said it's our 1 year, so it's our 1 year.
Yeah. This is our 1 year here in the pod, but we've been rocking together for quite some time, Regina. We're
What,
going on 4
4 years?
years.
Is it 4 years?
We're going into our 4th year, yeah,
Yeah.
with
So
being in the driver's seat. So I'm excited. Congratulations, Regina, on your dedication. And congratulations to our producer, Asante, for keeping us together.
well, congratulations to us this morning. So we have on our show, we have Adrian Austin. He is running for the Pontiac Council at Large.
Council at large,
Yeah.
yes.
So excited. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning.
Welcome,
Good morning,
welcome,
ladies, and
welcome.
congratulations. Now,
Thank you.
this interview is special because I did not know this was your 1 year anniversary.
Yeah. So we making history
Look
today,
at me
right?
being blessed already this morning.
Well, you was
Amen,
blessed when your
amen.
eyes open.
Listen, amen.
Amen.
So I'm excited, Adrian. You know, I was able to look at the flyer and I was able to see some of the things that you've already done and the work that you've backboard that you've done before you even started this campaign. So let's get right into it. Regina
Sure.
talked about division, right? And so I stated early on that our city has been extremely divided with this election.
Yes.
And we see a lot of backbiting, the backdooring, a lot of just evilness, if I could say it.
Mhm.
So, what would be one of your number one goals to unify the city of Pontiac if elected for council at large?
So that is a great question, Dr. Teresa, and thank you. One of the first things that I want to say in regards to some of the negativity that's been going on, particularly around the election. Um, I don't agree with the negativity. I don't agree with the visceral or malicious attacks that people have had to endure because of their political choice
Mm-hmm.
or their candidate choice
Mm-hmm.
or their priorities or stance or values, because that's what this election is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the constituents' values, priorities to elect a certain candidate that stands with those values and priorities. So for anyone who's had to deal with that, I empathize with you and I apologize. Now, as it relates to negative comments, I don't agree with those particular comments, particularly the one that Ms. Regina touched on. I wholeheartedly do not agree. Now, because I am a son of God,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that sometimes we do fall short of expectations, and no one needs to, for lack of a better terms, throw dirt on anyone, because I'm sure we've said things that if came to light, we wouldn't want to be scrutinized for what we said.
Mm-hmm.
So I do empathize with that person who first the comment was delivered to, because they did not deserve that. And the person that delivered the comment, I believe that there is forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
if, that person wants to speak to different things that they may have had said that they want forgiveness for. So
That's good.
So
That's a good place for unity.
So I want to just back up. So for individuals, we know we have the city council, right?
sure.
But for individuals like myself and other people in the community that don't know exactly what is council large
Yes.
and how and what capacity, because is there 2 members, 3 members that actually sit on the council at large, and what is it?
No, that is a great question, Ms. Regina. And so,
He's so polite, honey.
Mm-hmm.
well, my grandmother would not have it any other way.
Absolutely.
He was raised by women.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The at-large position is something new that we have here in the city of Pontiac. It's the first of our time, so it's a historical election just in that regard. But there will still be 7 city council persons. We are, for lack of a better term, shrinking in far as district. We're losing one of our districts, which is
Mhm.
District 7, the east side. They will now be the new District 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we will still have 7 governing body members, and one of those governing body members will be the at-large member. This member will govern or counsel the entire city, districts 1 through 6. So that person will be the representation for all of the districts. You want to, for an at-large position, be someone who is able to make decisions for the entire city.
So it's one person?
Yes, there is only
Okay.
one position this go around for the at-large position. So it'll be the at-large position and then 6 district positions.
Mm.
So what people need to understand when they go to vote, you're still going to vote for your district person. If you live in District 1, it will be Chris Jackson or Melanie Rutherford. If you live in District 2, it's going to be Melania Jones or Dean Bavekwa. If you live in District 3, those are write-in candidates. So you'll still see that space on the ballot for that position. But then there's going to be the at-large, and then there's going to be the mayor. So you have to understand that because you elect an at-large position, that doesn't mean you take away your district.
Mhm.
The at-large person is going to do what's best for the entire city, focus on the city as a whole. The district person lives in that specific district and is going to make decisions for the district. So in past times, there have been districts that went unrepresented because people had medical reasons or for other reasons. So now you have an at-large person who could step in and fill that role. There's been issues with constituents and their council person that have caused for stagnant delivery and
Mhm.
services. And so now you have an at-large person who you can say, hey, Adrian, I need to get XYZ done. I'm not seeing as much movement on that. Can you step in and assist? And I will work in collaboration with that district council person
Oh,
to
that's good. So it's
make
kind
that
of
happen.
like another cushion.
Yes,
A-
you
another
will
cushion.
actually have 2 council persons representing you, your district and the
Then the
at-large
at-large.
person.
That is real good.
Yes.
That is good. So, one of the things on your list is what you will do on the first day in office. So, kind of
Yes.
like, let's talk about what is the first thing that you would do on day one?
Day one, I want to begin restoring the confidence and trust that our citizens have in their public leadership.
Hmm.
One of those things is being an accountable leader first to the citizens, making sure that I am making decisions that value the citizens, that reflect our citizens. And so, day one, what I want to start is a at-large committee. This
Hmm.
at-large committee is going to be made up in every district, 1 through 6. It is for Pontiac residents, all ethnicities, all genders. And
Hmm.
what we're going to be doing is deriving solutions, deriving best practices, deriving things that will make our city look better as a whole,
Hmm.
make our districts stronger. And so everyone has an input. That's going to be something that's done with their direct at-large person,
Hmm.
so that when it comes to confidence in what decisions look like, now you're a part of those and you can trust that your leadership is making decisions that reflect you.
I like that. So now you're actually inviting people to come in and actually
Absolutely.
be a part of the team. Okay,
Yes.
I love that.
So I'm just looking over. You know what? Let me just say this.
Mhm.
This is this is amazing.
It's impressive.
I mean, it
Yeah.
really is because you
Thank you.
actually hit on bullet points. And I asked you when you first got here how old you are. You don't usually ask people how
Yes.
old you are, and I appreciate you answering that question because the reason I asked you how old you were because of your of this
Yes.
and just your mannerism. I remember when I first, I don't want to say I met you, but I was at a Pontiac Panthers football game.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that face, but I didn't know your face. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I never really, I didn't know that was you.
Hmm.
And I'm very
Yeah.
impressed with this. But
Thank you.
UAW, so you're running for council person at large, but
Yes.
your experience. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about your um, experience
Yes.
in the
Absolutely.
political world, because for people that don't know you, like myself,
Hmm.
and then actually have this piece of paper
Hmm.
that's very impressive. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about your background.
Sure. So first, shout out to the Pontiac Panthers. That is my childhood football team. I was a quarterback, I was a cornerback, and a wide receiver for the
All
Panthers.
right,
We won
all
many
right,
championships.
all
So shout
right.
out to the Panthers. But Miss Regina, first, I want to give honor to God because, you know, honestly, I am a young man, and I didn't always do it the right way. I didn't always do it the way that my mom or my grandmother
Mm.
would have said, do it this way. And so I have to give honor to God for a lot of the accomplishments that I have in my life because I wasn't always on that path. And He just guided me. And so a lot of this has come to fruition. But in the political space, I am the 2-term elected precinct delegate in District 5. Being a precinct delegate is very important because you focus on spaces like voting, being a conduit to the community for people who may not understand the voting process or know a lot about different candidates' platforms or party platforms. So that was something I felt was very vital and crucial to do. I was urged and encouraged to do that by a brother that I was working with in the UAW. And how I got in the UAW was I was an employee of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. I had had a job change. I moved to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan out in Detroit. And it was first a challenge because I was driving from Pontiac out to Detroit a lot. And so I'm like, what am I doing out here? And then being in school, I was in school for legal studies. Uh, I got into legal studies because I met my beautiful wife, Melanie. She was an attorney. I was like, I'm about to marry an attorney. I got to step it up a level. So I got into legal studies.
Okay.
And then being in the job and working at Blue Cross, you're in a union. My professor was like, hey, you work at Blue Cross, with your legal degree, you can now work in like arbitration and things like that. And I'm like, I don't know what this union is about. And so I started taking union courses at the UAW region and with the international and grievance writing, grievance handling, negotiations, some of those particular aspects that I'm diving into now. And so the connection, God saw fit to bless me to meet some presidents who were impressed by a young brother that was out there putting himself out there. And so got in the union, first time, got elected. I was incredibly excited. And then the president says, you're going to be the VCAP chair, which is the political wing of the UAW. And so I've been involved in Ms. Kamala Harris's campaign. I worked with the region and the international last year. We did some instrumental rallies and door knocked on thousands of doors.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you are a politician. You know why?
Why?
It's because politicians always give you like long answers.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I had to break
No,
you up just a little bit on that one.
Well, I want to make sure I bring it full circle because in the political space, at least now in Pontiac, I've been asked that several times. Like, politically, what is your experience?
Yeah.
And so now having this opportunity to be on a world-renowned show, I want to make sure.
World-renowned, okay.
Come on, world
Make sure they get the full,
Speaking in
they get the
existence
full
for us.
hits. But no, really after that, being in the VCAP, that sort of branched out. 2024, I met a lot of influential political people, which poured into the confidence. I saw the condition of my community. Like I told you earlier, I have a 21-year-old and I have a 2-year-old. I'm 41. Pontiac still looks the same from my eyes as it did when I graduated high school. My daughter, that's 21, and now my 2-year-old, I can't let her see Pontiac the same way. And so I began to get involved. And that's my political history.
Oh, that's good.
So when you say it looks the same way, what do you mean?
Well, so we're still having challenges with education. We're still having challenges in the crime space. I know crime is going down, but there are still some very, very high challenges with crime. And so the roads are still in decay and have actually gotten worse. We have broken up from the community dynamic, which I saw as a young man. Due to emergency management, we lost a ton of things. And my 21-year-old daughter had to go through that. And now my 2-year-old daughter is here and we're still trying to recover from a space some time ago. And so that dynamic that we never really can get it right, we never can really band together, it still reigns. I won't say reigns true, but it still is a reminiscent in our city. And so I really want to change that. And to your point, Miss Regina, I didn't fully answer the first question of the unity piece. And that's something that I look to do in this election. I really want to be an example to young brothers and sisters that, hey, you know, growing up in Pontiac, we're going to deal with some challenges. We're going to fall off the wagon sometime. But those values that our parents and grandparents and community people instilled in us, there's value in us. There's value in where we go and what we do. Pontiac is the center of Oakland County, the center of the universe. And so we used to say this thing in Harrington, I am somebody.
Yeah.
And I asked a few teachers, do y'all say that anymore? And they're like, no. And I said, man, that is so vital to these young kids to instill confidence in them right now. And so I want to be an example of a positive person running a race. I don't throw dirt on my opponent. I don't say negative things about him or his base. I know, you know, his profession is what it is. And so, you know, I want people to understand you can see two, and I'll say it, Black brothers running in a race, and we don't have to throw dirt on each
Keeping it
other.
clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it clean, keep it respectful.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he is a
Yes.
brother.
Yeah.
He is you know,
Mhm.
that's where it starts, a brotherhood. So, you know, I know some people look at us when we shaking hands and we out in public hugging each other, or we tell each other we love each other, because there is no disdain there.
Yes.
You know,
That's
when I
good.
say, for instance, my opponent is a police officer. He is a police officer.
Yeah.
He campaigns on that space. So it's not to be negative, but as an opponent of his running in a political race, I need you to understand the full essence of
What it look.
the choices that you have.
Yeah.
And so that's, as some people would say for him, hey, you have to draw comparisons to your opponent as well. But I want people to understand that this is what Pontiac can be. When I say we are one, it's true. We are one. And
That's
so,
good. Yeah.
you know, just to bring that back to your
Oh,
first
that's
question.
good. I like the fact that you talked about your 21-year-old daughter and even your 2-year-old daughter. And again, shout out to Melanie Austin.
That's my beautiful
I
wife.
watched Melanie grow up.
Yes.
They grew up. I remember when Melanie was born.
Yes.
But so I do want to say that you brought out a valid point and how your daughter had to go through some things, watch some things that got lost along the way. So let's kind of talk about what is your goal for the youth. Since you have experience, you see it. You said Pontiac kind of looks the same.
Sure.
You've seen your daughter go through some challenges, and now you have a young baby that you all are raising
Yes.
now. Uh, what is your intention for the youth?
So one of the first things, and that's a great question, Dr. Teresa. One of the first things that I want to focus on with the youth, we need to hear from our youth. So I want the council to develop a youth council, youth government, ages 13 to 18, so that we can hear from the youth as to what type of programs, what type of initiatives that they want to see coming into this big new
Yeah.
youth center that they're going to get, in their schools. When I was growing up, Miss Patterson was a champion to get a community computer lab over in the Lancaster.
Yes, she was.
I want to get back to doing things like that, because what I'm noticing is right now we don't have youth transportation. I know different organizations help out with that, but every kid can't get to the library or to different spaces. So we want to create some literacy hubs or computer hubs in some of the different areas in Pontiac, so that alleviates, hey, I can't make it to the youth center every day, but now we have a computer lab over here where you can do reading or research or homework, because that was something I felt that was vital in my growing up, and it was right in the community where I
Yeah.
lived. And so doing things like that, one of the first programs that I actually want to establish is like a social media etiquette class for
I think I
adults
need to
and
join
youth.
that.
Listen, because a lot of the negativity that gets pushed around on social media, and some of our youth are going to grow up entirely with social media. They're not going to know anything but social
Yeah,
media.
yeah.
So they have to be able to disseminate information properly. They have to be able to know what's the truth, what's not. They need to be vocal with their parents about things that they're seeing, not sharing fights and shootings and killings and
Yeah.
negative conduct tone. But us as adults could take that class too. So there
Absolutely.
are mediation people and therapists that focus on social media. So that's something that I want to do in the youth space. One thing that I also want to do in the youth space, I want to work with law enforcement.
Okay, now hold that thought. We're going to
Okay,
take
go
a
ahead.
break and
I'm
we'll
sorry.
come back with law enforcement.
Great.
We'll come back. We'll be right back. Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me.
And we are back with Mr. Adrian Austin running for Pontiac Council at Large. Adrian, when we went on break, you were telling us the second point of some things that you want to do with the youth. So let's pick that back up.
Sure. So I was saying that I wanted to work with the youth and law enforcement in a space of crime where law enforcement allows for gun buybacks and different things like that to get these violent guns and different things off the street, have it a safe space. So if you're a youth or a young adult, you can turn these guns in and not face any criminal punishment or anything like that, because I know a lot of robberies are happening because they want money and they're using these guns and different things to get it. So that's just something we want to do to combat youth crime. And I think it would be beneficial.
Yeah. So Adrian, tell the I love that too. I love that. I hope you really do that. Tell the listeners and even the viewers, why should we vote for you?
Wow. So you should vote for me. And that's a great question because I am a Pontiac born and bred citizen. I always say, seize the moment, Pontiac. The time is now. The candidate is Adrian Austin, but the vote is yours. Like I spoke to being bred here, it's time to cash in on an investment that the citizens have made in me. I am a part of the love and the foundation of Pontiac that they've poured into me. I was not left behind, and I don't want to leave my city behind. So I am humbly asking for your vote, Pontiac. I would appreciate you voting for Adrian Austin, but whichever way you decide to vote, I am still going to be involved. This city is meant to do great things, and great things are in our future. So God bless. Get out and vote. Early voting is at the public library today from 8:30 to 4:30. Tomorrow from 8:30 to 4:30. November 4th. All polls 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Adrian Austin for Council at Large. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Thank you
Adrian,
for the
for joining us
opportunity.
today. We'll be right back with Michael Goodman, who
All
is
right.
running for District 3. We'll
Yay.
be right back.
Be right back.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875.
And we are back, be in the driver's seat, and we have our second guest on, Mr. Michael Goodman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning.
Yeah, we're excited to have you in. So, for those of you who are watching and those who will listen, Michael is running for District 3.
Yes.
Yes, and
He's
so
actually council person in District 3.
yeah, you're in
Right,
District
in
3
District
and
3.
you're rerunning
Yeah.
I'm running for
District 3.
re-election right now.
Yeah. So, according to your bio, you are a lifelong Pontiac resident, a proud working class leader, and a proven champion for issues like tenants' rights and environmental justice. I hear you made history at the age of 21.
Yeah.
In 2021, you beat a three-term incumbent to become the youngest elected official in Pontiac history. So, Mike Hale, you are here with us today. So let's get right into it. Why should we be voting for you?
So I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I saw your hand.
Can we open up the phone lines? We didn't open up the phone lines.
Sure.
Dr.
I just don't understand why you took my question and talked about the phone line. You see, Michael, see what we go through? Okay, Michael, why should we be voting for you?
Yeah. So real quickly, Mikhail Goodman, the council president of
Okay.
District 3.
Am I saying your name wrong? Mikhail.
Mikhail.
I
Okay.
didn't even process it if you did.
Okay.
So yeah, I am running for re-election because I think one of the most important things that we can do here in Pontiac is build a city for the people who currently live here,
Yeah.
live in the reality of what we're actually in. When I ran the first time, it was about holding landlords and slumlords accountable, about improving our quality of life, working on our infrastructure, and I'm running to still do the same things, to actually finish on what I came in to do, because I think a lot of people don't realize Pontiac is 2/3 renters.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can have a whole conversation about increasing home ownership and that's deeply important. But one of the things that we have to do is live in the fact that currently 2/3 of the city are renters. So for the last 4 years, I've been doing everything I can to put in place tenant protections to make sure that our slumlords are being held accountable, that our landlords are doing an actual job to provide real quality housing for our residents.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the biggest things for reelecting me is that in the last 4 years, we've been able to push, as of this point, I want to say 75% of my tenants' Bill of Rights between right to renew, right to fair notice, just cause eviction, having an escrow ordinance to keep money out of the hands of bad landlords. So being able to keep doing things like that, we've been able to put Pontiac as I believe at this point the forefront city when it comes to tenant protections
Oh,
beyond Ann Arbor, beyond East Lansing, beyond Detroit, and
all
being
right.
able to
Shout out to
continue to
my
do that.
city. Okay, shout out to Pontiac.
And so being able to keep doing that, I think, is a really important thing, especially for where we're living right now, where things are getting more expensive,
Mhm.
where housing and groceries are getting more unaffordable.
Yeah.
It's more important than ever to make sure that we're keeping things, especially housing, affordable for everyone who lives here currently.
So I just want to jump in real quick. We the phone lines are open. If you want to call in today, you can call in at 248-905-1128, 248-905-1128. If you have questions, you can ask the candidate. And also, we want to make sure that you share our video and comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are new to our Facebook page, be in the driver's seat, make sure you hit the follow button. But I got a question because I've seen the flyers. I've talked to a couple people that's actually been to your free pullover prevention clinic where you fix hundreds of cars for the residents. Let's talk about
Wow.
that. Why
Yeah.
why why were you instilled to actually do, because nobody has ever done this in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you actually get this idea to actually put this in place
Yeah. So
for free? Because I work at a car dealership. So you doing some good justice on your
Mm-hmm.
program.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend that I came up with the idea of a pullover prevention clinic. I am a member of Detroit Democratic Socialists of America. We can discuss that later. But one of the things that DSA has been doing for years across the country, especially in Black and Brown communities, is doing pullover prevention clinics because we recognize that one of the easiest ways that Black and Brown people get pulled over is for very minor things like headlights and taillights being out.
Mm.
So in places like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's a standard program. It's like, hey, we're going to have a pullover prevention clinic or a brake light clinic, fix the headlights and taillights. That way people are not getting stopped. So there was an organization here in Pontiac called Oakland County Mutual Aid that has been doing it for a while to a smaller scale. There's Eastside Mutual Aid, I believe, in Ypsilanti that has been doing this. But none of them have the resources that a counter person has. So being able to, make the connections with Chavez Auto Care here in Pontiac to do all the car repairs for free. They provide everything themselves. They pay for the bulbs. They pay for the work. We don't pay them anything to do that.
Wow.
On top of that, we provide food. It's been Uncle Jerry's Barbecue for the last 6 events. Being able to have resource tables, because to me, I think the most important thing is we recognize that a lot of people are dealing with different economic factors that make it hard for them just to exist. And I think when you recognize that a minor car repair, no matter what it is, let's say an out tail light or a bulb, you can replace that yourself. You can go buy the bulb from AutoZone, but the average person doesn't either have the time or ability. If they have the ability, they probably don't have the time, because between having to pick up a kid who's in school, or between multiple different extracurriculars, or you're working 2 jobs, or you're working night shifts, a lot of people who may even have the money and ability to be able to go get it fixed don't have the time to be able to do that. So
Mhm.
being able to make it extremely low, if not no barriers, we're providing this for free. We're providing food for free. We're providing resources. All you need to do is show up. It is, in my opinion, just the ability to do what is true civil service.
Mhm.
It's a need that has been shown over every single time, because I think every single time we've done over 50 cars each. Minimum. There
Is
have
it
been
once a
times.
month though, or when is it? Or
It's been about every 3 months.
okay,
So we've been
quarterly. Is that
Ye-
quarterly?
Yeah, minus like the winter quarter. Like we don't do it between like December and February because it's so difficult. But we've been able to every single time like feed over 500 people to be able to provide. Fix over between 50 to 100 cars. I think over the last 8 of them, if I do the math correctly, we've done over 2,800 people in terms of feeding them and about 800 plus cars.
Oh, that's good. So, Michael, what drawed you to want to even be in politics?
So in 2016, when I was 16 years old, I was still in high school, and this was when uh, the last big election was, well, at that point in time. So it was uh, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton running the primary together. And I was taking my poli sci class in high school, and I was like, oh, this is what makes everything happen. Like the things that they're talking about at a national level when it comes to Medicare for all and to college and all that stuff. And at 16 years old, as I'm about to go into the adult world, I'm like, oh, these things kind of make sense for someone who's trying to build up my life and go forward. And so from there, I just started learning everything I could. I ended up joining the board for the Young Democrats of Michigan. I was a communications director for a statewide organization at 19. Went from there to being the vice chair to being chair, running for city council. And for me, running for city council was really just, I can look around me. I was living, I've been in Pike my entire life. I grew up on the east side in what everyone calls the Riverside or Arborview Village or Sanford Arms, depending on when it was. And I grew up in Section 8 housing on food stamps. So I have a very clear view of what it looked like for me growing
Yeah.
up and for a lot of people who look like me. And then also I was working at my old high school at Arts and Technology Academy for Pontiac and looking at my students who are both in elementary school and high school. And I'm seeing two separate sets of problems that are almost identical to what I dealt with growing up. There's a level of insecurity that all these kids are dealing with. And as someone who cares about my community, there is advocating for my community, and there's actually trying to affect change and change policy that affect people in my community. And so I ran because I am a nerd enough to care about writing policy. And if I can do that for my community to make long-term change, I figured why not.
So were you actually the youngest person to actually win the council seat?
Yes. I'm the youngest person to be elected in Pontiac politics, period.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I believe,
And how old were you?
so I was 21 going on 22, like when the inauguration for all of us happened in January of 2022. That small little window in 2022 where I was still 21. My birthday's in February. So I was 21 when I got inaugurated.
Mm. Wow. Point number 2, you talked about a working people's perspective. So, kind of talk about this a little bit because you said that you've lived experience, you use that experience that you went through or witnessed as a child, and that has helped you even go into have your work ethic like you have now.
Mm.
So let's kind of talk about what that actually means for the city of Pontiac.
Yeah. And this is not to talk bad about anyone who's elected to politics, but I think if you look across the board, doesn't matter what city or community it's in, there are very often circumstances where the people who are elected do not look like the people who are voting for them.
Mhm.
And, in Pontiac, we have a pretty solid situation of being able to end up getting someone who is at least working class in the way that we think about it, someone who looks like us in most cases. But I think there is sometimes this disconnect between the people who are able to get into positions of power and the people who are in the community who need the people in positions of power to work for them. And currently, again, like Pontiac is 2/3 renter.
Mhm.
I believe at this moment I am the only renter on Pontiac City Council.
Mm.
And I believe that I have been since I believe Melanie bought her house a couple years ago.
Yeah, she did.
And that's not to say that, homeowners don't belong in council, but the fact that 2/3 of the city are renters and there's only one renter on council who is fighting for the needs and the issues of what it makes up 2/3 of our city. And for me, growing up with the perspective of growing up on Section 8, growing up on food stamps, growing up in a situation where landlords will treat you any type of way because you are in need.
Mm.
And then now still being a renter in the city, paying a landlord who luckily is better than most, but having to have, called multiple times, having to, threaten to put my money in the own escrow program that I created. It puts in this perspective of I'm not disconnected of like from the everyday things that are happening,
Mhm.
because it's easy to say, oh well, now that I own a home, it's my problem to fix it.
So your goal is one day to actually own a home.
Yeah, eventually.
Okay.
Eventually, at some point, it'd be nice too. But
Mhm.
for me, it's like living in the fact that most people in Pontiac can't afford to buy a home right now, or if they can't afford to buy a home right now, it's probably not what they deserve.
So I know that Angela Powell and Norman Burroughs, I think I'm saying his name right. They're having a homeowners uh, event next Saturday. So I think that the city is actually putting a little bit more. I don't want to say the city, but I know that she is, and some individuals are actually putting more effort into make people in the city of Pontiac homeowners. And the reason I say that because I just have a mortgage company many years ago, right?
Mhm.
And now is the time for them to come together because I think that people in the community want to buy homes, but I think that they don't know how.
Yeah.
I mean, they need assistance. The money that you're paying for rent is the money that you could pay for a mortgage.
Yeah, and
Even
shout out
though,
to Norbert though,
yeah,
like you
shout out,
said,
yeah.
because he's been doing homeowner education for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
and he's actually helped my sister get
Well,
her home.
amen,
And
amen.
so shout out to him and all those that actually
Yeah.
are educating those in the
Mhm.
city so that they can be homeowners. But I also want to shout you out too for those who cannot at this time that are
Mhm.
renters, and you
Facts.
are actually making sure
Advocating
that
for
those
them.
you're
Mhm.
advocating and making sure
Mhm.
those slumlords step up
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
take care of business.
and I think that these two things are related, right?
They are.
Because you can have people who are moving towards home ownership, who are buying
Mhm.
their first starter home.
Hmm.
But it's also kind of difficult to buy your first starter home when there's a large number of land speculators who have bought up all the properties in the city who are just holding on to them
Yeah,
and
that's true.
either renting
And
them
we know
out
why they're doing
or not,
that.
right, or not renting them out. But also, I think it's difficult to think about home ownership. Let's say that you're living in an apartment and you're paying, honestly at this point, $1,200 a month
Mhm.
for what is
That's on the low end, depending on
right.
what it
I'm
is.
trying to be like nice and generous. You were paying
Mhm.
$1,200 a month, and every single month you're having to call an exterminator. You're having to call for minor repairs. You're having to call a plumber. You're having to call this, and another thing, and now you're spending all this money on monthly repairs. You're paying all this money on a place that is honestly making it harder for you to build any wealth. And so now you're dealing with a crappy landlord, and you want to move on better, and you don't even have the ability to focus on that. So making sure that the existing apartments and housing stock that people are renting is safe and affordable
Mhm.
makes it easier for them to think about, okay, well, now that I'm in a stable place, I'm not worried about losing my housing every month. I can now think about the investment of buying a home.
So we got about 1 minute for you. So just give us in 1 minute why they should vote for you again. Why should you be reelected in your position?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a dedicated servant to District 3 since I've been 21, and arguably longer. To me, it's deeply important to focus on the things that are affecting people right now.
Mm.
I think it's really easy to talk about where we can be and where we can go, or where we have been, but I think it's really important for us to focus on what we can do right now. And since I've been in office, I've been passing legislation, passing ordinances on a regular basis that focus on what is affecting our people right now, whether it be in terms of housing and tenants' rights, which is what I'm known for, or going even into things surrounding environmental justice or the way in which our city runs, because we are not in the 1980s anymore. And as we continue to improve and make investments, those investments have to be focused on the working class people of the city.
Yeah. So today is early voting, right?
Yes, early voting has been in place since last weekend.
So I know you're urging them to get out and vote today.
Yes, and also more importantly, because in District 3, there is no one on the ballot. We're all write-in candidates.
Mm.
So even if you're going to reelect me, you have to be able to write in my name.
How did that happen? How's it all writings on?
Why don't you answer that?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't live in Pontiac, let me just say, and I keep up, but I don't keep up like that. But why is it all writing candidate?
So it for one reason or another, none of us were able to turn in the number of nominating petitions for our district from the people who live in our district and sign. To put it simply and put it quickly for me, I had some personal things happening in my life around the same time that I would have been collecting signatures. Not to make an excuse of that, but transparently, when you have your mother pass away at the tail end of the year, a lot of things get thrown off, especially being an only child and handling the estate. But even beyond that, none of us were able to get the nominating petitions in. I had some stuff going on. I don't know for my opponents, but for me, since I'm now on the ballot and I still believe in the work that I'm doing, I'm asking people to write me in.
Okay, just a question.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
thank you so much, and thank you for your transparency too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. My condolences to you.
I appreciate it. It's been a rough time being a mid 20 something losing your parent, but I mean, not to be cliche, but the things that I went through, like living with my mom growing up in the Riverside, put in perspective all the work that I do now. So like for me, the biggest legacy work that I can do is keep fighting for the child version of me and the teenage version of her who are living in the Riverside.
That's
So
good. So we'll be right back. We're gonna take a break.
We'll be right back with current events.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
Well, we're back, and we are back. We are back. But this is the favorite part of our show that I love because we talk about current events, things that are happening in the community. We only have about 3 minutes left, so let's go ahead and get that started. So tomorrow is re-elect Rosie Richardson to the library board. You have a meet and greet Sunday, November 2nd, cash bar, light refreshments at Sunset Island, 7 North Saginaw Street from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Donation is $5 or a new children's book. Music by Tony Jefferson and special guest comedian Terry Hodges. For more information, call 248-872-9596. I call Rosie Richardson Auntie. So Auntie Rosie Richardson and is running for re-elect.
SNAP keeps food on the table for our most vulnerable neighbors. Michiganders deserve better.
So Ronnie McNear's Sunset Island, they're having their monthly brunch. Not donation. Cost is $35. Alcohol drinks not included. It's Sunday, November 9th, which is not tomorrow, next Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And live performances up and close to personal with our homegirl, Gwen Fox and Dennis Lee Duno. Tickets available at Eventbrite or pay at the door, 7 North Saginaw Street. Gwen Fox is in the house next Sunday. I'm just excited. You're not impressed with my singing?
No.
You're rude.
Turtle Hill Productions and DNA Productions proudly presents the Thanksgiving Comedy Extravaganza. This is hosted by Terry Hodges, and it will be featuring Reggie Ballard, which is Bruh Man from the fifth floor from the Martin Show. Some of the comedians will be Detroit's own Daryl Earl, backed by popular demand Shawnee D, and funny lady Simply Chanel. That is Friday, November 28th, 2025 at 8 p.m. at the Crowford, which is located at 1 South Saginaw Street in Pontiac, Michigan. You can get tickets in advance at $40 or $45 at the door. You can purchase tickets at www.thecrowford.com.
Part-time internship Ascend Foundation hiring Ascend intern November 10th to February 27th. Job responsibilities. You have job responsibility qualifications. In other words, if you have any questions, call Janine Williams, the Youth Program Director, 248-470-9123. Give her a call at 248-470-9123 and apply now.
And this is just a follow up to that particular post. Again, the Clarence E. Phillips Ascend Foundation has an internship opportunity. It's a part-time internship opportunity running from November 10th through February 27th. You can contact Jenna Williams at 248-470-9123 or J. Williams at theascendfoundation.org.
All right, well, that's it. We had a great show like always.
Yeah.
Super energy this morning. You know, I just said, you can tell a politician because they just talk. But I guess that's what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So next week, our guest is. Who's our guest next week? You not help me out. You never leave me hanging.
Sierra Crudup from Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies and Demar Bias
Yes.
is next Saturday. So y'all stay tuned. We're excited. See you soon. Happy Saturday.